Hello everyone, I'm Broughy1322 and welcome to a showcase of all the drip feed vehicles. All the vehicles that we've got from the Casino DLC that are still in the game and will be released over the next basically 4 months because there's so many vehicles. So this is basically split up into two sections. There's the Southern San Andreas Super Autos website section, and then there's the Legendary Motorsport section. Now, these vehicles are going to be released from left to right in that order based on each website. So, for example, we're not going to get the Dynasty before we get the Gauntlet Hellfire. Similarly, we're not going to get the Locust before we get whatever this thing was called again, the Neo. So yeah, that's how the listing will go, but it can switch between the two. So, you know, we might get the first 3 cars from Legendary Motorsport before we get the first car from Southern San Andreas Super Autos. That's just, you know, it can switch between the two, but this is the order that the cars are going to be released per website, essentially. And it's usually going to be one a week, probably back on Thursdays. So we'll go through them. Let's start with the Southern San Andreas cars. This is the Gauntlet Classic. Looks pretty nice. I feel like the first cars that we're going to see are better than the supercars. I don't know whether I'm just sick of supercars these days, but Gauntlet Classic. This is the Nebula Turbo? Yeah, Nebula Turbo. That's going to be next. Now, some of these cars will have the bouncy advanced handling flag that has been reduced in effectiveness, but will still be, you know, it still exists on, say, the Italia GTO and stuff like that. I've covered that in previous videos. The Nebula Turbo is one of those that's going to have that bouncy flag. So is this, the Zion Classic. But in between those two, we're going to have the Gauntlet Hellfire. I think people are going to be looking forward to that one because that looks pretty amazing. And then, yeah, the Zion Classic here. Zion Classic, Nebula Turbo, both in the Sports Classics class. See the pillow in the back there. That's by default. You can get this livery. That comes with this livery, I think. But yeah, those are going to have the bouncy flags, but they won't be as bouncy again because of the advanced handling flag changes. But as always, when it comes to these vehicles, I will be testing them on the day that they're released and give you the lap times and top speeds for them. But when it comes to the Sports Classics class, we're not going to see much change. The Gauntlet Hellfire might do something for muscles, but Sports Classics class isn't going to change. This is the Hellion. This is the only other off-road vehicle from the DLC alongside the Cara 4x4. So that'll be after, at some point anyway, after the Zion Classic. Then the Dynasty, with the whole all the taxi stuff on there as well. That's pretty cool. The Dynasty is also in the Sports Classics class. So basically the 3 Sports Classics cars aren't going to be, you know, beating the Turismo or anything like that. It's a cute little car. And then finally for the Southern San Andreas website, it's the Peyote Gasser. So it's a drag Peyote. Again, probably not going to do anything in the muscles class, but you know, it's in terms of, at least in terms of lap time and top speed, you're not going to be able to turn it very well. It's meant to be a drag car, but it's probably got some pretty decent modifications on it. So next up, the Legendary Motorsport site. Again, this is going to be the order in which we get them. So the first Legendary Motorsport car we're going to get is the Neo. So it's either going to be on this Thursday coming up, the Neo, or the Gauntlet Classic that we'll get, that Rockstar will release. It'll be one of those two. So we've got a Nero, we've got a Neon, and now we've got a Neo. So that's the Neo. That also has the bouncy advanced handling flag. Again, it's not going to be as bad as what it used to be because of the changes, and I will still be retesting all the advanced handling flag cars, but there's 36 of them to do, so you got to give me a bit of time to do that. But yeah, the Neo is going to be one that isn't going to be quite as nice to drive because of that bouncy flag as, say, the other supercars. Then we've got, what's this called again? The Emerus. The Emerus. Again, lap times and top speeds and how these perform all be on release day. Just check the channel on the day of release, usually a couple of hours after the car's release on the morning. And yeah, It will. I'll let you guys know whether there's any cars that you need to buy instead of the new Thrax or S80RR. Next up's the Locust. Dinky little open top thing. Not all of these supercars are going to be quick, just to put it out there. These are all supercars. There's going to be some of them that aren't going to be on the pace. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know whether I'll get any early testing done, but we'll see how they go. But don't just buy... Oh yeah, the Neon's a sports car. That's a good point. These three are supercars. The Neon's in the sports class. The Neo, sorry, not Neon. God damn it. They're all Neon, Nero, Neo. Yeah, this is a sports car. So that'll be in the sports class. We'll see what that can do against the top sports cars. But these three are supercars. So yeah, they got the Emerus, the Locust, and then the Krieger is going to be next. I mean, they look pretty nice, but they're also just supercars again to me. Like, they're all just... I feel like those cars are just so much more interesting. Okay, so the Locust is in sports, not supers. Yeah, it is as well. It goes sports, supers, sports, supers, sports, supers. My bad. Locust is in sports, not super. I got that one wrong. Then we've got the Jugular, which will be the next one on Legendary Motorsport. Again, we won't get the Jugular until we've seen those four on Legendary Motorsport. So this is going to be, you know, the last vehicles over there and the last vehicles over here aren't going to be for another 2 or 3 months, I'd imagine. But yeah, the Jugular, which will be in the sports class as well. And then the Zorrusso will be after that, another supercar. Again, we'll just have to see how it does in terms of performance. Always recommend waiting until the lap time and top speed testing videos before just going out and buying these cars, because some of them are going to be very expensive. In fact, I think it's the Krieger that's going to become the new most expensive car in the game. Something like 2.8, nearly $2.9 million. So yeah, they're going to be expensive. Don't waste your money on them. Wait for the testing. The Rampant rocket will be next. That's an interesting one. I like the livery that you can get on it with the hot dog. But yeah, it's basically a 3-wheeled tricycle drag thing. Rampant rocket. It's gonna be an interesting week that week. I wonder if that will be released at the same time as the Gasser, maybe, and they'll do some sort of drag racing themed week. I don't know. It is possible that 2 cars are released at the same time, but I mean, it never happens these days. Rockstar usually like to stretch it out as much as possible. And then the final car on Legendary Motorsport will be the Novak. The only SUV. It does have the bouncy advanced handling flag as well, so there's 4 cars that do. And again, we'll have to see if it can touch the Toros, which obviously again needs to be retested. But we got, you know, a good 4 months before we see that car in the game. So these are the cars that we're going to see first of all. Say these 2 or those on the left over here. Those are the cars that we're going to see first in the first couple of, the first sort of month. But yeah, I mean, you can just see by the fact that we couldn't even fit it in all of these parking spaces that we got a long time to go with the drip feed from this DLC. 22 cars were added to the game with the casino DLC, and 15 of them were held back for weekly releases as part of the drip feed, and these are what those are going to be in the order that they'll be released on each website. Thank you guys to the Project Homecoming people for helping get these in the game, spawn them in. I actually was driving these on the morning of the DLC before the DLC was even released, because they got them in so quick. But yeah, thank you guys on Project Homecoming for letting me do this little showcase. These are all the cars that we've got to come from the Casino DLC over the next weeks and months. Lap time and top speed will be coming each week when they're released. And yeah, that's it. And we've also got the retesting of the advanced handling flag vehicles as well, of course. Oh, there they all are. There's all the... What yoga. They're doing yoga. And this is what you can do with 5M, I guess. That's amazing. Oh, this is totally getting left in at the end of the video. And namaste. So yeah, those are all our cars. There's plenty of testing to do with all of these week by week, and with the retesting of all the vehicles. Like I said, there's 36 vehicles that need retesting thanks to the changes with advanced handling flags. So You're going to have to be a bit patient for me to get that all done. It takes time, but it will get all done eventually. So that's pretty much it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this was a good little showcase of all the new cars, and I'll see you next time.